everyone's joining. Today I'm going to be talking about my favorite books of 2021 so far. So 2021 was a good reading year for me, even though there were some books that I didn't enjoy. But I picked 10 books that are my favorites so far this year. So let's get to the books that are my, let's just get to the books that are my favorites so far this year. So my number 10 favorite book of the year so far is Your Welcome Universe by Whitney Gardner. This is about a girl who is deaf, and she gets kicked out of deaf school, and then she ends up going to hearing school. And what I really love about this book is that there's a deaf main character, and I haven't read any books that have a deaf main character before, and I think there should be more books that has disability rep other than people that are deaf, and I really enjoy this book, and I haven't seen many people talk about it on BookTube, and I really want people to get to give it a chance, just because there's not a lot of disability rap in YA, and I think it's very important, and I just really enjoy this book so far this year. Coming out number 9 favorite book of the year so far is The Guanabera Deception by Kirsten White. This is a King Arthur retelling about Guinevere, and she's a changeling in this book, and then she marries King Arthur to protect him, but nobody knows that she's a changeling, and that's why I really like this book. I really like the characters, because I'm really familiar with King Arthur's stories, even though I haven't read the actual story yet, but that's a goal of mine, and I really like Guinevere, and I really liked her character in this book, and I just can't wait to read the sequel when I can, just because I really like the story so far. Coming out number 8 favorite book of the year so far is Frozen Beauty by Alexa Highlighter. This is a mystery book that tells a story about two sisters who are trying to find out how her sister got murdered, and they want to know who actually have done it, and the boy next door has been accused of the murder even though he was innocent. And I really like this book. This book really, the plot twist really surprised me, and I'm just really wish many people read this book, even though I feel like this is a very underrated YA mystery book, just because usually there's a lot of mysteries that deals with a sister's murder, but I think this one is a very surprising plot twist, because I didn't see it coming, and I keep guessing who was the murderer, but I didn't expect the murder when I found out, and I just really think that many people should read it, just because it's different than any YA mystery books that I've read, but still I really think people should give this a chance, and it's one of my favorites so far this year. Coming out number 7 favorite book of the year so far is House of Sorrow and Sorrows by Erin E. Craig. This is a 12 Dancing Princesses retelling that follows the 12 sisters, but each of them are dying, and they don't know why they're slowly dying, and that's all I want to give you the synopsis. I really enjoy this book because of the dark twist on the 12 Dancing Princesses, which this is the first 12 Dancing Princesses retelling that I've read, and I really did not see the twist coming either, and I really like the murder mystery twist on the fairy tale, and it just makes me excited about the story more, and I just really enjoy it because of that, and I think many people should read this if they're looking for another fairy tale retelling to read. Coming in number 6, and I don't own this book, but the number 6 favorite book of the year so far for me is Library Wars by Kiyo Yumi. I think that's how the author is pronounced, but this is a manga that I've read this year about it's a world that takes librarians into like a police force kind of group, and that's what I really love about it. It's like a dystopian world with librarians are like police officers, and police officers do exist in this world, but I really like how the world was built when I read it, and I really like the characters, and I can't wait to read more books in the series, just because I really like the concept, and it just was a really cool book that I've read so far this year. Coming on number 5 is The Invisible Life of A. Rulu by V. Schwab. I also don't own this book. I've read it from the library, but what I really love about this book is that it's something that I would never imagine writing myself. A girl who wants to live forever, but everybody that she meets forgets about her because of her deal with the devil character, and then one person remembers her, and I really love this book just because of, this is not like any books that I've read, and it's one of those books that I honestly read very quickly, that I just couldn't put it down because I want to know what happens next and what happens with Eddie as she lives through her life being alone, just because everybody will forget about her after she meets, and the ending literally made me cry, and I'm just like, this is one of my favorite books of the year so far because of that, because I really love the characters, and I just think the story just really rips my heart out, and I just think that I'm just glad that I've read it just because it's a story that I honestly think it should be heard, even though there were mixed reviews on it from what I can tell in book 2, but I think many people should give it a chance if you're looking for a standalone book to read. I really think The Invisible Life of Eddie Ruru is a perfect one to read. Coming in number 4 favorite book of the year so far is Always and Forever Laura Jean by Jenny Han. This is a third book in the To All Boys I Loved Before series. If you haven't read the first book tells a story about Laura Jean, who writes love letters to guys that she used to have feelings for just to get over her feelings, and then somehow they were sent out, and that's all the story. I just cannot believe this is the last book. I was excited to read it, and of course I've read this because the third movie came out, and I still haven't watched it yet, and I'm mad at myself for it. But I honestly almost cried when I've read this, just because I cannot believe it's the end, and I just love the characters so much, and I just can't believe that their story ended, and it makes me want to reread the books and the series again, just because I just love the characters so much, and I just love the story, and I just love Laura Jean, and I love Peter, and I just love all the other characters, and I don't know which book of a series is my favorite, but I just love the characters so much. And coming on number 3 favorite book of the year so far is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gunn. This is a Romeo and Juliet retelling that takes place at Shanghai in the 1920s, and I honestly really love this book just because I haven't read a Romeo and Juliet retelling before, and I just really love having it takes place in Shanghai, just because I honestly haven't read a lot of books that takes place outside of Europe and some parts of Asia, and it just makes me like imagine myself being there with the characters and watching their story go by. And I also love the characters in this book, and I just love how Chloe Gunn has brought this world to life. I just love that there's a twist with this one, especially when it's a Romeo and Juliet retelling, and you just find out how everything happens, and then everything clicks. And then that cliffhanger, I just love. I hate cliffhangers, and it makes me want to read the sequel even more. And I just really love this book, and I was anticipating it last year, and many people have talked about it on BookTube. And I just really think if you want to try a Shakespeare play, but you're just very anxious about it just because you don't know if you'll like it or not, I think you should start with a retelling of a Shakespeare play just to try it out before you actually try the actual work. And I just think many people should read These Violent Delights just because I know many people might find Romeo and Juliet controversial just because how the story went, and I just think many people should read this book just because of how good it is, and I just love the world and then the characters. I just love the characters. I just love everything about this book. And coming out number 2 favorite book of the year so far this year is Happily Ever Afters by Elise Bryant. This is about a girl named Tessa who just wants to be a writer, and she wants to be the main character of her own story, and she takes a creative writing class, and then she meets this boy, and then she meets another boy, and oh my gosh, all I'm gonna say, because I really love this book just because I love the characters. They made me laugh, and it just a lot of things about this book just remind me of love rom-coms I've watched, and I just love the characters, and I also really like how there's more than one representation in this book, just because it just made me happy, just because one of the characters has a disability rap, and it's nothing what I expected, and I just really love how there's a main character who has a family member who has disabilities, and it just makes me happy. And I just think many, like I mentioned before, I think many books should have more representations in it, just because there's not a lot of people that know about it, and it just makes me happy, and I just really love the characters, and I love the family aspects in this book, and I just really love everything about this book, and you could tell that I'm just really talking in passion just because I just really love this book so much, and it was my most anticipated books of the year, and I'm just glad that I read it when I did. And coming on number 1 favorite book of the year so far this year is The Bromance Book Club by Lisa K. Adams. This book is about a man whose wife wants to get a divorce, but he doesn't want to get a divorce, so he goes to his baseball teammates, and they form a bromance book club where they read a romance novel just to figure out a way to how to treat women properly, and that's just what I love about this book. I just love the concept of it, and I've read it within 2 days, and I'm just like, I love this story. I love this book so much just because I love the characters, especially Gavin's teammates. They just made me laugh, and I'm just like, oh, can I meet those in real life? Just because I love when there's a lot of characters that make me laugh, and also I just really love that there's second chance love in this book when there's like a character or that just didn't want to be together anymore, but the other character wasn't giving up, and I just really love about that, and I just really can't wait to read the other books in the series, just because I know that it's their companion novels and sequels, but I just can't wait to read more, just because it makes me want to know the other characters more as the series progress, and I just really love a bookish book, and that's just what I love about this book, and I just love the characters, and I just really like how you get to see the books that they're reading too, and I'm just really love those books so much. So that's all the favorite books of the year so far. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and comment down below your favorite books of the year so far. And if you haven't already, click the subscribe button and click that bell icon so you know whenever I post new videos. Also, you can follow me on social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads, which all links will be down below for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!